All of the following changes will shift the investment demand curve to the right, except. So the investment demand curve is a curve on a graph with investment demand on the x-axis and interest rates on the y-axis. And the curve is a downward sloping line, indicating that at higher interest rates, there is less investment demand. So at higher interest rates, investment demand is less, while at lower interest rates, investment demand is higher. So companies and investors are investing more when interest rates are lower, because when interest rates are lower, the cost of borrowing money to invest is lower. So less costs mean that investors or businesses can invest more. So we need to find out which one of these which one of these does not shift the investment demand curve to the right. So it doesn't shift the curve to the right, indicating a higher level of investment demand overall. So A says a decrease in the corporate income tax rate. So if there is a decrease in the income tax rate on corporations, that means that after tax there is more money left over for businesses to invest, which indicates a rightward shift in the investment demand curve. So A does increase the investment demand, meaning it shifts the curve to the right. B says an increase in the productivity of new capital goods. So an increase in productivity of new capital goods means an increase in the output for equipment and machines used by businesses. So if new capital goods are more productive, then that means businesses are more likely to invest in and borrow money to buy new capital goods. So this does shift the investment demand curve to the right. C says an increase in the real interest rate. So if there's an increase in the interest rate, meaning we are higher up on the y-axis, investment demand doesn't actually get shifted. We just move along the curve. And an increase in interest rate also means that investment demand just becomes lower because the cost of borrowing money to increase investment is now higher. So there'll be less investments overall. So C does not shift the investment demand curve to the right. So that's probably the answer, but let's check D and E. D says an increase in corporate profits. So if corporations are more profitable, that means that after tax, they have more money left over to invest in more capital goods and other things related to the corporation. So that means an increase in corporate profits will increase the investment demand, and shift the curve to the right. He says an increase in real gross domestic product. So if there's an increase in gross domestic product, that means that there's a higher demand for goods and services. And in order to meet that higher demand, corporations need to invest more money into their businesses to be able to meet that higher demand. So this will increase investment demand. So that means only C did not shift the curve to the right.